It is.
I've got gray. Did you see these
It
things?
should be white. I should have bleached it white.
I've got gray all over. It's insane.
Once it starts, man.
It's downhill.
Mm-hmm.
As long as I have hair, that's fine. Hey, what's going on, guys? Phil here with podcast 208, and I am back with a beard update from Daeron Katz, aka the Piranha Games community manager. Welcome back, Darren. How you doing?
Senior marketing and community manager to you, mister.
Yeah, like
right now it is pretty much community manager. I'm not involved in a lot of marketing meetings.
Titles.
Here meetings, but
soon it'll be like your lordship, your highness, and then
Duke
it all goes
of
downhill.
something.
Yeah, Duke of Earl or something. I don't know.
You can call
How you
me
doing?
Highness.
Yeah,
I am doing very well, man. It's I was just talking to Rebecca yesterday. I think I'm waking up, I'm making my coffee, I'm sitting down, somewhere soon after 9 and getting into work, and then all of a sudden it's freaking 5 o'clock. Like
right.
More, with NGNG, sometimes we knew exactly what we were doing for the next day or the week or whatever, but it was more like, what do we want to do today, or what do we want to do this week? And it was much more open-ended. Not that I don't have flexibility, but it is pretty insane.
Yeah.
The amount of meetings, it's a good thing. I'm learning a ton. It made me remember, what's one of the sayings I say all the time? You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah. Well, so like that's sort of funny because like talking about NGNG really quick, we were on the outside. Even though we worked for PGI, we weren't in daily meetings, and so we did have this autonomy, if you will, and there was a lot of trust there. But it was actually sort of, some ways it was awesome, but then some ways it was disadvantaged because like we weren't in the loop, or we weren't included in the loop, and I wouldn't say we weren't fully utilized, but I think to leave that out on the table, I definitely think we hadn't reached our full potential if like we'd have been there or whatever. But now, come full circle, the entire office and the entire industry for the most part is doing what we did. So now, like even if NGNG, like it's different. So like now everybody's doing
it's pretty
Zoom.
intense, man. Like the amount of issues there are to discuss and how far in advance you need to discuss most of the issues. It's just a lot of meetings, a lot of decisions, and like I said, man, it's more than I've felt in a very long time. I get up, I sit down, and bam, it's the end of the day. And it's really good. I mean, it's a good thing. It's keeping me totally busy. It's keeping me focused. And the community is keeping me busy and focused. Oh my goodness, dude. If I have to read one more Google Doc, no, I'm joking. Of course, I want them to keep coming in. But people are, like I think I mentioned last time, people are serious. And that's
it's fantastic.
In a great way, like Matt and I were talking earlier today. We're just pumped. Just like I mentioned last week, very much feeling the reality of the situation and the responsibility that we have. To give you an update, kind of what we did this week, we're preparing basically an audit of Mechwarrior Online. All the features, all the functionality, just getting it all out there so that we can have that template to work with and start plugging in the requests and the things that the community has already sent our way as far as suggestions and things to upgrade or update MWO, and start plugging that information in soon. Really soon. I mean, well, I know tomorrow there's the one stream meeting that's happening, but I want to start interacting with the community, having discussions. Start once we have all the current suggestions laid out and kind of get a good overall feeling, big picture feeling of what people want the most, at least what we perceive from this first initial rush of feedback. Then we want to take it to the discussion level, right? Because things that look good on paper or in a post or whatever don't necessarily play out once you start running it by the appropriate people who have had experience for 8 years playing this game and in different areas or whatever. Then you can start hashing it out, fleshing it out more, and really get to the goal that we're looking for, which is how to improve Mechwarrior Online.
Yeah, I mean, hands down. I had a really good.
Yeah.
Go. I was gonna say I had a really good podcast 207 with Mike, and it was
I still need to listen to it. I will.
You do.
Yep.
But others, like you said, but it's one of those things where I'm every conversation I'm hearing reoccurring themes, and you know, I'm sure if I just said, hey, Darren, you know, as a player, what's something you didn't like, or what's something, I'm sure we could just name off, you know, 5 things, like, you know, and that sort of reoccurring thing, and you know, one of the big things that I take out of this is that is the fact of, because there's so many reoccurring things and themes, that I feel like a lot of people would be on board with the same thing. Now, I will say this, I think people can get lost in the weeds, if you will. Like, for instance, let's just say skill tree, or the percentages of skill tree, or the agility, or whatever. Like, we can talk about, well, this mech has acceleration of this %, or, well, the weapon does this much. I'm not worried as much about that, and I do think there's plenty of very smart people out there with some amazing spreadsheets.
Oh, they're
right, like, and I say
amazing.
That I'm not saying that as a bad thing. What I'm saying is,
no,
that stuff,
they're passionate,
is
and they know their shit.
Yeah, but it's also, that's finite stuff. I'm more worried about like the granular stuff, because like, and I think like that's where a lot of people are going to come on board of saying, like, you know, yeah, you know, mobility across the board. There's no really, you know, like, and it's going to be interesting seeing the discussions with you and the community, and the feedback and back and forth. And like I said, there's already multiple groups, some very large Discords full of very experienced players that me and you are in.
A lot of good discussion.
I'll let them talk and do their thing, but like, there's a lot of cool stuff out there. And I did want to ask you, you mentioned at the very beginning, you said, or it was right before, you don't know what you don't know, but the scope of things, when you said planning, how has that been? Because like, you almost alluded to 3 months out, 6 months out, a year out, because, and I don't think a lot of people, if you've never been in not just the gaming industry, but any industry that deals in something that is like that, where you may be thinking literally a year, 2 or 3 out. Piranha Games is obviously going to be doing that with Mech 5, MWO, and if we do get a MWO 2 or online, whatever, they're already going to be having those discussions. How has that been for you? Because that, you sort of were like, huh.
It just, I mean, you know, we were aware of the pipeline, you know, back in the NGNG days, of course. We because we had more and more discussions with the developers, and we'd go to the mech cons and talk to them. We'd visit the office, and so I think we developed a pretty healthy understanding of game development and the pipeline process. But now, hearing the meetings, it's crazy, because basically what you're doing is you're doing everything at once, right? You're looking at now until a year or 2 years, and you sort of, you know, the meetings prioritize different areas. Like right now, for example, I'm sitting in on the Mechwarrior 5 DLC meetings as well, because, you know, I'm the community manager for the Mechwarrior products. And so
no pressure.
I'm getting no pressure at all. I'm getting a great overview of what's going on with Mechwarrior 5, the DLC that's coming out, and the launch on the various stores, and just even the next 2 months, it's insane. The amount of organization that these guys do, the producers, and it's just a super well-oiled machine. Obviously, I mean, we're gonna have, you know, our detractors or whatever, and that's fine. But I'm telling you, man, these guys are crazy organized, and so much communication internally. You know, and that's why I'm here, to start making that same communication happen externally. But it's just great. That's the other thing I was talking to Rebecca about. It's really good to officially be a part of the team and see that, and be a part of it and hear it. But it's an eye-opening experience, and I have a lot of respect for the people that I work with.
Gotcha.
And it's exciting knowing that the tasks that we're given with specifically MWO, we are already thinking 2 years out. Of course, we're not laying the tracks, so but we're discussing the various ways that this could be implemented. Like, just working with the current system, adding a lot of functionality to the current system, all the way to porting to Unreal 4, right? And so we're already discussing based on the feedback that we're getting, the various paths, and like, okay, let's say they want to do this one, what can we foresee happening? And so we're already kind of pre-planning the possibility of one of these three being the direction, or some sort of hybrid or whatever, and trying to kind of guess what's going to happen, and so that we can be ready, and so that we don't get taken by surprise. But it's just cool. The feedback that's coming in has been super motivating. You know what I said today? The hype that you're experiencing.
I said today, I was streaming today and got into a game, and someone said, hey man, something to the podcast, good to see you, passionate again. I was like, it's good to have a want and need to be passionate, right? Like, after 2 years, right? And right. Me and you've talked about it, obviously doing what we did, and like now, as far as the steps, you guys already taken in this information. How, are you going to be utilizing, what is your main form of communication? Is it going to be forum posts and like polls, or are you going to have a talk? Are you just basically going to talk and let everybody know, hey, this is what's going on, but we need your response, and then they can go to the official? Is that sort of?
So yeah, I mean, I think the forums will probably be at least the official place of communication, right? Because we got to maintain that. But we also understand that there's plenty of people that don't want to visit the forums, that they consider them too salty or whatever. So we're going to reach out, utilizing your services and other methods, Twitter, and let everybody know. But when we need feedback, it's probably going to be more of it'll be everything still. But like, we're thinking of even like in-game, like if we need to know specifics, A or B or A, B or C, even having in-game pop-ups or something like that, just asking one simple question to get, a majority of the people that are actually playing the game, getting their direct feedback, and not having it be biased or, it's just their genuine feeling. And
heck, if I logged in and it was like, I don't know.
Just simple. We don't want to drive people away. We don't want,
If it was just a simple, like, I don't know, do you like the color red or, black? My point being is, if it's actually relevant to the question, like, do you like the skill tree in its current form? Yes or no? That's a good, or like yes, no, or.
We would make it so that you could click out of it real quick and easy, or you can answer the question, and it would probably just be like one question, but. And I'm not even saying we're going to do that, but it's something that we've already talked about. It's a possibility, because those are the people that are logging in and playing.
And I mean, like I said, there's been so many ideas, and I'm intrigued about the it's a podcast basically that they're doing tomorrow, live podcast, but with Ash and Nutty and Jay-Z, and I'm flubbing on the
comp scene.
I'm flubbing on the fourth person. I feel so bad. I should know this. Sorry. But yeah, man, I'm excited. So, I mean, the more and more I talk to you, the more and more I'm getting a strong feeling. I mean, it's not gas. So it's like, you guys are sort of taking the reins. I mean, it seems like what the community tells you and you can come to a consensus on, that's what's legit, happening,
man. And I mean, you've known me for a long time, right? And I'm sure you can gather by my energy and the way I'm talking and the words I'm using and the way I'm conveying it, that that this is legit. It's huge. Matt and I talk about that every day, how big of an opportunity this is. And if we do this right, utilizing the community, then it could be fucking amazing, dude. Like, I'm very excited about the possibilities, and like I said, I feel really good. It's been a good 2 weeks. Flew by,
dude. It did. I was like, hold on, didn't we just do a beard update? And I was like, oh yeah, it's been a week,
dude. And I needed that. I was getting pretty antsy towards the end of summer. I was looking to work again and be busy, and I am being kept very busy. The amount of feedback that still comes in every single day to every single email, Twitter, Discord, forums. It's encouraging, man. Nothing but encouraging.
Off the top of your head, with like off the we're not gonna drill them. What's like? Have you had any like Holy shit, that's a fucking great idea. Have you had any like?
Well, there's people that get really into like we love faction warfare, and they
Sure.
lay out, a huge plan for it. And I came from World of Tanks Clan Wars,
Sure.
so there's an element of that I can absolutely latch onto. But whether or not that ends up being an answer
Sure.
to this, that's different, right? So
Yeah.
there's stuff that a lot of stuff that I'm getting going, yeah, that's cool. That's way cool. I would love to experience that. Whether it's the solution or not is different.
Gotcha.
I feel like, I think I was explaining to you yesterday, I know I was explaining to Matt today, I feel like we have a ton of amazing ingredients right now with all the feedback we've got, and now it's putting it into a recipe that works. Sure. And that's, again, those three things I mentioned before, which is what makes the game more fun, what brings people back or introduces new people because it's so damn fun. Sure. What works, right? Because it's a video game, for example, it's not tabletop or whatever other thing that makes something work or not. And what we can make a business plan out of so that we can keep this alive for 4 more years. So it's coming up with that recipe that's going to be key. Tons of great ideas. Like, for example, paint, put metallic paints in there and you got a ton of my money. And I'm one of those people who agree,
Yeah.
I think I've wanted metallic paints from the beginning.
Or
yes, we've talked about that many times over the
yeah.
And I agree. You put that in, money. But again, is that a part of the solution? I don't know.
So I think an important thing to sort of notate here.
And also, paints are not the most important thing about making MechWarrior fun. Again, don't take me out of context.
No, what I think it's sort of important is you guys you've sort of already listed your goals, which is we want to make MWO fun, accessible, and we want you to come back if you haven't played in a bit. And then also, if you start playing, it's the game you want to play. That is a good goal. And I want to distinguish, at least from my point of view, that may not mean, like, from my point of view, that means probably not anything to do with Slayers, probably not anything to do with faction player off the bat. But would it be crazy to assume that you guys could focus on those at a later time? Like the focus may be this, the just solo group play and just the core gameplay of the game. But then it says,
oh, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Well, in stages.
Yeah, I guess.
If we're talking about adding 4 more years of Mechwarrior Online, at least, who knows what'll happen after that. But we're looking at 4 to 5 more years. Then absolutely, it's not like let's come up with one big fix and then sit on it for the rest of the years. It could be multiple stages, absolutely. But what we do have to do is do it in the right order, right? We've got to show that we're serious about it. We've got to create that goodwill and the trust within the community, and show them that we're moving forward and that we're taking this seriously. And then also make changes that are going to help business wise. And then, and then a year from now or whatever, continue doing what we're doing. If we're
that's awesome.
Making the game better and we're getting more people, and then sky's the limit.
And
sky's
I think
the limit already if we do it right.
I just wanted to, I think that sort of clarify there, and I'm glad you did, because like I do think, from what Russ said on 204, I gathered he wasn't happy with like faction play, and I wasn't as well. And there's a lot of people that, but I just wonder, you could take faction play. I think all the systems that are there, all the nuances, and take what's fun and this and that. It's just probably the workload is going to be greater and that may be down the road or something like that. And that's not me. I am going to
reach out to the faction play people here and say I've had some amazing experiences. I know you haven't, or at least less.
Yes.
Because you just chose to be that way. But I've had some amazing experiences in faction play. And so I can 100% relate with that person who's saying, make faction play what it should have been or could have been.
Oh, yeah.
But again, it's not about what I want or what Matt wants. It's going to be what we as a group, as a community, come together and say, this is the best plan. And if your thing's not being addressed immediately, yes, you're absolutely right. That doesn't mean it won't be addressed. It might be the next thing in rotation.
Dude, I want to play faction play. What I said this last. I want to be addicted to it. I want to log in, and either you're a part of a unit, or maybe it's some type of like NPC unit or whatever it is, and you're logging in, and it is so addicting and so fun that that is the focus, and it's competitive, and you want to strive to be better, and you got to be better, and there's different routes. Like, I've always wanted this. I've wanted that. And I think if that ever does happen, I mean, yeah, you're going to have a lot of buy-in, but I just wanted,
again, not an easy task.
not especially prioritization of one thing and another. But yeah, there's been a lot of great ideas, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys are able to. I can just imagine you like on a big whiteboard, and there's strings attached to like stuff everywhere. Like,
totally.
Like you know, like with a poor like,
and it really is
poor picture of a mad cat sitting there and be like, have you seen him? And it's like,
it's just big picture, man. There's so many possibilities, and so that's what we're dealing with right now, is just like top down looking at everything. And it's exciting, it's confusing, it's but as we move on next week, the week after, starting to hone that down, communicating with people more directly, getting more feedback specifically about the things that we start realizing are popping up and becoming the consensus, and it's going to be good.
Let me ask you, has there been any lack of information in any particular thing? Is like, oh, I haven't really heard much about XYZ feature or XYZ like possible issue? Like, is there one thing that's like severely lopsided and you could use more of something else? Is there anything like that, or has it just been like, like,
it's been everything? I mean, I was talking to Matt about this earlier today too. Like, when people communicate with me about porting it to Unreal 4, typically the response is just port it to Unreal 4. There's no, they're not offering any solutions to make that possible.
Of all the issues that Russ talked about.
Yeah. And maybe, we were talking, maybe that's because people are thinking it's not realistic or whatever. And so I can't really do anything with that, right? So port it to Unreal 4. Okay, fine. Yes, it would be beautiful, but we need to figure out a way to make that work. So that was one that stuck out as just kind of funny, Otherwise, no. I mean, there's so much information coming in, and everything's being discussed. There's posts like add these mechs or add more maps or whatever, and that's all fine. But people, for the most part, are covering every topic and a lot of very insightful, detailed stuff.
Awesome. Well,
yeah.
You need a weekend. That's what you
need.
The
weekend is here. I got like a little bit over an hour left of work. And
do we just keep talking? Is that what we just do?
No, dude, I have, while we've been doing this that's the other thing, because now I'm working with, a particular email client, and during this one podcast, probably 5 emails came in. So, which would be most likely from work, so there's all these email chains. So the amount of, again,
I'm taken away from the movement. Oh gosh, should I feel guilty or should I feel proud of, like?
No, and that's the other thing. Like, I'm trying to get into people's streams and hang out more. I did drop with Apostle the other night, and I've been trying to get in, and Star Wolf stream, but I don't have as much time to do that anymore. I was hoping I would have, Friday fun day too or whatever, and stream, and maybe I can work that in. Right now is, again, still towards, it's only my second week, and I'm dealing with a lot of communication from the community. So hopefully I can work into something like that. I'd love to drop into your streams more often and play, and so we'll see.
Yeah, we'd love to have
I'm going to take my weekend though.
Take it, enjoy it, because you need it.
Oh, I can give you some news. We got insurance and a home for our boat. So I am no longer at anchor. I am in a slip at a marina.
Nice.
And very, very happy. That was a huge, like 1 million pounds of weight off my shoulders.
I was gonna say, show up out there and your boat's like 100 feet away, like, smashed up against the rocks. That would be
no, dude. I got a beautiful spot in the marina. I'm very happy. This weekend we're gonna go up to the Olympic Mountains and get out to nature a little bit, and I'm gonna keep that part of my life going, man. The outdoors have been good this summer.
You need to, and we've talked a lot about this, that like fine line between work and family. And if anything, I think COVID has taught us one's a lot more important, especially for your mental health. And that's one thing I'm going to keep on top of you about is to
definitely we can do that for each other. But PGI is great about making sure you're living your life and not working 12 hours.
Taking your work home. Yeah. Taking your work home.
Yeah, they've been really good.
Well, I mean, a little bit of update from me. Danielle is fully healed. She's good from her surgery. Thank you guys for all the feelings and thoughts and support out there. She's gotten the thumbs up from her supervisor that we could relocate because living in Raleigh area is just so expensive. So we're thinking about moving a little bit west towards Winston-Salem so we can afford a house that, that's a thing. But the cool thing about that area is it's like hills before the mountains. So we're closer to the mountains, and a lot of the houses have basements. So, hobbits like holes and, caves and stuff. So it's super exciting. But dude, thank you for the update. Obviously we'll have to continue doing this. Maybe not every week, but maybe, who knows? We're just going to, it is what it is.
So far. Do it.
Yeah. And look forward to the discussions coming out. And
absolutely.
I think it'd be fun.
Keep sending the feedback, guys. Even though I joke around, can't read any more Google Docs. Yes, I can. So keep sending the feedback, whether you post it in the forums. You can email me, Daeron.Katz@piranhagames.com. And you can send it on Discord. You can send it on Twitter, whatever you want to do. I am getting it all. Facebook even. I'm getting your Facebook messages. So keep it coming in, guys. It's going to be exciting. Super looking forward to what we can do next week. Hopefully we can start some communication with you guys. And I'm going to try and be there tomorrow night. So you're going to be there, Phil?
Yes, I'm going to try. What time is it? Okay. Your time? It's 20. It's like something UTC.
Between morning and night.
I'm like Eastern. I'm such an American. It's like, what time is that on my time? Because I'm too lazy to.
I'm UTC -7, I think. I don't know, something like that.
I used to know when I was in the military, but I'm not, and I'm old, and whatever. Yep. Anyways, thank you for being on. Thank you for taking your time. And of course, I'd like to say thank you to all of you guys out there listening. Of course, this podcast is sponsored by you guys, the viewer, the listener. Please consider supporting of Right Aways. Become a subscriber on Twitch, which, by the way, I stream Monday through Friday, 12 to 6 p.m. It's been fantastic. Quick shout out to the Ghost of Nox for sponsoring my first ever sponsored stream. It was fantastic. A unit and MWO sponsored the stream, the entire thing. So if you guys are interested, maybe a little bit of recruitment, or if you just want to show some love, reach out to me on Discord. I'll be happy to talk to you.
What unit was this?
Ghosts of Nox. They are a competitive unit. Yes. And
so they're a comp team? So if you want to be able to kick ass at MWO, those are the guys you want to look at. So just saying, that's cool. Out there. And of course, you guys can become a podcast sponsor as well. You can sponsor a podcast like this or a Twitch stream. You just let me know, just reach out. And of course, if you're going to be doing any shopping on Amazon, a lot of people are upgrading the rigs, or maybe you're getting stuff for the holidays, whatever it is. I have a link down below. If you use it, I get kickbacks when you guys buy stuff. It's easy. It doesn't add anything to your cost, but it throws stuff my way. So consider that. And just want to say thank you again, Darren. And this was your local No Guts, No Galaxy MechWarrior podcast. Signing off for tonight. This is Phil. And this is Darren.
Until next time. Bam. So cool. It's good to have you back. I missed you. Missed the beard.
It is fun again.
It's getting a little grayer. I don't know. Whiter.
Yeah, it is.
It is. That's all right.
It is.
I've got gray. Did you see these things?
It should be white. I should have bleached it white.
I've got gray all over. It's insane.
Once it starts, man.
It's downhill. Mm-hmm. As long as I have hair, that's fine. I guess. I'm shaving it. No.